Hi, welcome to ZBar. It's Steve again. It is Friday night, and we're going to try to do something fun tonight. We're going to have some new bottles that I've picked up over the last week, and we're going to go through them and just give you a quick review of each of them. So we're going to review tonight the Penelope Black Walnut Old Fashioned. So we did the peach one maybe two, 3 weeks ago. It was pretty good. And so I'm really curious to see what this one is. Brand new, just started showing up. I've seen it at a couple different spots now. I picked this one up at the Kroger which is a grocery store here in Fort Wayne. 1776, picked this up at Barrel Proof Liquors up on the north side of Fort Wayne. I have not seen this before then, although the bottles have been around for a long time. And then the Buckner's 15, which is an Augusta product. And we'll talk about that when we get to it, but that's kind of a cool product, 15-year-old product. This one is about $30. This one's also about $30. This is a $320 bottle, so this one's a pretty spendy bottle, but we'll get into those here more in a little bit. So we're going to start off with the Old Fashioned, and I want to give you a good review of that. I'll give you a ZBar rating on it at the end. If you're enjoying these, please subscribe. It's so important to me that I build this channel up. It's been so much fun so far. I want to bring more of this stuff to you. So how do I do that? I get more subscribers. I need to get subscribers, so please subscribe. I need to also get some comments from you so I understand what you'd like me to do. There's been some great ones already. We are already going to act on a few of those over these next few weeks, but can't wait to hear more comments from you guys. So let's dive into the Penelope Black Walnut Old Fashioned. All right, fresh crack, it's tough for me to say, Fresh Crack Friday. It is a Friday, and we're gonna go ahead and pop it open. Oh, that was actually pretty good for just a ready-made Old Fashioned, so pretty impressive. So just a little bit about this as I'm pouring it. 76 proof, it's a blended bourbon, so it's blended bourbon and rye, and then it's whiskey, that is, and then it's got black walnut bitters, along with some vanilla, I can't pronounce the way it's vanilla dementor or something like that. That's in it. So that's what the simple serpent is. So on the nose, that's interesting. I get some spices. Maybe you can call it allspice. Maybe a little cocoa. There's not much else there. I mean, there's not. I mean, you can certainly get the spices in it, but that's about all you're getting. I mean, it's pleasant. I would say it doesn't smell as sweet as that peach one did. So for whatever that's worth, if you've tried that peach one, that one smells really, really sweet. This one smells much more kind of, I'll call it nutty and fall-y. It's a great fall smell to it. All right, let's give it a taste, see what it tastes like. Oh, wow. Let me do just a little bit more. I'm tasting like a ton of brown sugar. That's the best. That is all over. It's brown sugar, maybe a little bit of cinnamon in there, and a little bit of vanilla. The back end of it has a little bit of a finish to it. I did not expect it to have a finish to it, to be honest with you. I felt like it just would mellow out quickly, but it has a little bit of a finish to it, maybe a little toffee tasting on the back end. It's actually really, really tasty. Much, much more, like I said, a fall drink than that peach one, which makes sense, right? Peach one would be more for summer. This is more of a fall drink. I did a little research before I did this video just about the Penelope folks. It's kind of a cool story. So they created the brand in 2018. It was created and named after their daughter. They were having a daughter, and their daughter was born in 2018, and they named it after Penelope. That's what the entire brand is built on. So I think that's really kind of interesting and cool. Their headquarters are in Roselle, New Jersey. They're distilling. They're all distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So all the distilling is in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. They actually do blend it. So all the blending happens in Louisville, Kentucky. So all the blending and the actual bottling is happening in Louisville, but the juice is all distilled in Lawrenceburg. It was actually, believe it or not, all the Penelope products have been acquired in 2023 by Lux Row. So by Luxco Corporation, which is Lux Row. So that's an interesting one. So Lux Row, I mean, makes a lot of different, all the Rebel products are from those. So all in all, you know what? I actually probably like this one a little better than the peach. Definitely as we get into fall here, we're at the end of August, this is Labor Day weekend that we're going into. So fall is in the air. And I would give this it's still on the ZBar scale a 2-star. But I would give it a solid 2 stars. I think this is probably a little bit better. And of the flavored stuff I've done a few of these flavored things here recently. I did the peach one, as I mentioned earlier, and then I did the Jack Daniel's blackberry. This is certainly the best one of those three, at least in my opinion. So whatever that's worth, it's got a really neat kind of toffee, brown sugary taste on it, which is nice. So it's very pleasant. All right, I think, guys, if you're looking for an old-fashioned 76 proof, I think it's worth a buy. So this one I would certainly keep on your bar, especially as you get into fall, winter. I think you'll find lots of folks that would love to taste this. And it's $30, so it's not going to break the bank. And it's a nice product for that 76 proof on it. So I actually think that's excellent. All right. Let's move on to the next one. So the next bourbon that we're going to review is the 1776 from James E. Pepper. So James E. Pepper is a distillery in Lexington, Kentucky. They've actually been around for the name of James E. Pepper has been around since 1780, believe it or not. So this distillery is really old. Now, the distillery itself closed down in 1958. They actually went bankrupt and they closed down in 1958. And then there was a gentleman named Amir P.A. I'm probably murdering that name, by the way, but he actually in 2008 relaunched the brand. And back then, he did it through some sourced whiskey, some partnerships in the area. They have actually been redistilling their own stuff since 2017. So distilling is in Lexington, Kentucky, as I mentioned. That's also where their bottling is happening. So kind of a cool distillery. Uses water from the original limestone mine that was what James E. Pepper did with his products would have been him and his father in the late 1700s, early 1800s. That was their their limestone well that they used. So let's see what it's like. Again, Friday. So we're gonna do a fresh crack Friday. Here we go. Another solid pop. Again, 100 proof. So you got 100 proof. It's 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley. It's only 3 to 4 years old, so it's going to be fairly young. But 1776, James E. Pepper. I've watched a couple reviews on this. This product's been out for quite a while, so it's not like this is a groundbreaking one. It's just the first time I've actually seen it. So I have not seen this in liquor stores that I've been going to. Happened to run across it in Barrel Proof Liquors, and so I bought one. And quite honestly, Chad, the general manager up there, was like, dude, it's really good. You'd be shocked at how good it is. And I'm like, all right, for $30, how can I not try it? So here we go. We're going to give it a shot. It's got a nice amber color to it. And to be honest with you, it's actually kind of sticking to the glass a little bit more. The legs that we talk about all the time, it's sticking to the glass a little more than I would think a 3-4-year-old bourbon would. Usually I don't find those to be, that mouthfeel that they talk about, oily mouthfeel, but that's a sign that it's going to probably have a little bit more of an oily mouthfeel than I think. Honestly, that's a pretty good pour right now, and the color looks pretty good. So I must have cocoa on the brain because I'm getting a cocoa smell on this thing again that I had on the last thing, or maybe it's left over from tasting the Penelope Old Fashioned that I just tasted. There's probably some nuttiness and some marmalade. I mean, it's got a really high mash bill, high rye mash bill, so that 36% rye should have those rye spices coming through, and I think I'm picking those up. it's got a nice nose to it. It's not overwhelming, and it's not super ethanol-y for a young bourbon. All right, let's give it a taste. Oh my gosh. For a high rye, 36% mash bill, 36% rye mash bill. So 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley. It's got a ton of caramel, like a ton of caramel. And I say that on all these guys. You'll probably by the end of this, after you watch a number of these, you'll make fun of me about, you say everything's caramely. Well, to me, it does taste very caramely, but this one is extra caramely. And I would think it would have way more like spice and that what you usually get from those ryes. It's not a rye, it's just a high rye mash bill, but it's a bourbon. But yeah, it's tons of caramel. It probably can taste a little nutty. There's probably a little nutty, especially in the backside of it. The finish is not very long. That you'd expect that 3-4-year-old bourbon. It's not going to have a ton of finish on it. Almost a popcorn on the finish. That's weird, like buttery popcorn. That's a weird thing to say, but that's what I'm kind of picking up on the backside of my tongue as it kind of mellows. Still a little bit of that caramel hanging on as well. So I mean, all in all, it's got a really good taste to it for a 3-4-year-old bourbon. Wow. Honest to God, I would put this up against anything else in that $30, $40 price range. I mean, there's nothing else that I would say, oh my gosh, it's knocking the socks off this stuff. This is a really good budget bourbon. So for $30, this belongs in your bar. I absolutely think this is one of the better $30, $25 to $30 bourbons. And when I was doing research on it, it sounded like you can find this for in the 20s, 20, 25. I paid 30 for it. That's what it was at Barrel Proof. But I honest to God, I think this is not just as a mixer. This is a really good low-end bourbon. So I would have it on your bar, and I think people would really enjoy it when they come over. So ZBar rating. So as a ZBar rating, I think this one's a 3-star. I mean, I'm not going to give it the big, 4 or 5 stars. It's certainly not that. It doesn't have a great finish. It have a little bit more of a oily feel than I expected for a 3-4-year-old bourbon, but it's a solid 3 out of 5 stars. And that's, as I said, this is a respectable bourbon. I would absolutely keep this one on the bar for you. It's good. It's good stuff. All right. Last but not least, we're going to move on to the Buckner's 15-year. So Buckner's 15-year, this one is 128.5 proof. It is a single barrel. It's a cast strength, unfiltered. So this is, I'm sure you guys have all heard the buff turkey comments, which basically means that it was distilled by Buffalo Trace and was supposed to go to wild turkey, but then they ended up with excess of that, especially older barrels. They sold them on the market. And that's the rumor. So again, not confirmed, but that's the rumor. This is buff turkey juice in here, and it's a 15-year-old juice. Little bit about the distillery itself. It's near Cincinnati. It's in a town called Augusta, so it's Augusta Distillery. It's near Cincinnati on the Ohio River. I've seen pictures, not been there, but it looks absolutely beautiful. I would say that if I get a chance to get over to that side, if I'm ever in Cincinnati, would probably be when it would happen. I'm going to slide down and take a look at it because it looks beautiful. It's kind of built up on bluffs overlooking the Ohio River. It looks like a beautiful distillery and would be a great one to go tour if I can ever get there. Let's see what we think. This one, you can tell I have opened it before, so we'll see if it gives the big pop. Not a great pop, but it's been opened. I opened this one and drank a little bit of it the other night. But here we go. Yeah, and you can see this one's much darker, so it's a much darker color on it. The legs that are on the glass are also, it's just sticking to the glass, and you can see it. I don't know if you guys can see. I always wish that I could show this better, but you can see the lines just where it's dripping down, which just means it's just sticking to the glass. But that's a beautiful, beautiful color. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's absolutely some like cherry smell in there, and definitely a little bit of caramel vanilla. That's kind of all bourbons have that to me. Not overwhelming with the ethanol. I mean, it's just a really, really pleasant smell to it. Yeah. Oh my. All right, I can't wait. I mean, again, I've tasted this already, so I remember what it tastes like, but I think it's going to be really interesting after these too, what this is going to taste like. You know how that does when you drink different things or eat different things, your taste buds kind of evolve, they change, and I have a funny feeling this is going to happen to this one. So let's find out. Oh yeah. Tons of oak. Just tons of oak. That's the first thing that hits you. You just get tons. You almost get overwhelmed with all that oak flavor, and then it melts to the back. Really long finish. You can definitely pick up the caramels in there, and toffee. There's certainly toffee in it. I can absolutely pick those out. Maybe a little bit of chocolate. I know the tasting notes, when you kind of look this up, it talks about having kind of chocolate notes. You know, that's almost not fair to look at those because it gives you kind of a hint of what you're going to taste. But I think it's going to have a little bit it says that it does, and I think I'm picking a little bit of that up, but I certainly get the caramel and the toffee. Oh my gosh. And the oak is crazy right away. So if you like a heavy oak, which makes sense, it's 15 years old. If you like that, it's really, really solid. The finish on it is really, it's one of the best finishes I've had. Man, it is so good, the back end of that thing. The caramels, the butterscotchy stuff on the backside of your tongue. That's a special bourbon, man. That is really special. So 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. It's a special one. It's a special bourbon. All right, ZBar rating, let's think. This one's a little tough for me. I want to go high. I'm actually flirting with a 5, and I almost never give a 5 away. I think I'm going to stick to my 4.5. So I think it's a 4.5. But it's one of my better ones on the bar. I mean, I save my 5s for literally the top end of my bourbons on my bar. I absolutely think this is fabulous. All right. That was fun. All 3 of those. I think 3 really good ones tonight. That doesn't always happen. Usually I have at least 1 dud in the mix, but all 3 of these, different types of bourbons. The Penelope certainly is just a mixer. You know, it's all pre-made. It's not a mixer. It's pre-made mix for you. But what a great winter drink. The 1776 low-end bourbon. If you're hunting for something that you can sip on, that's it. $30 or $25. It's that. That is excellent. And this is a high end. This is the, you know, I'm trying to impress my friends. Let me pull out the $325 bottle and you know, show them something that's truly knocked their socks off. 3 very different, but all 3 very good in their own right. So a lot of fun tonight. I hope you had a great time. Happy Friday for you that are watching this on a Friday, hopefully. But I'm so enjoying these guys. Please give me a subscribe. Give me some comments. Let me know what you're looking for. I want to keep making videos that you guys want to see. So I do have a hunt that I've taped. So that should be coming up here in the next week or so, that I'll get that posted, maybe even the next couple of days. We'll get that posted. I've got a couple more that are in the works. We're going to start something kind of special. I'll probably do my first live, maybe tomorrow, in fact, my first live. So that'll be the first time I'm going live. So a lot of fun stuff coming. If you want to follow along, please subscribe. That's the best way to do it. That way you're going to get notified. Hit that bell. You'll get a notification when I'm posting something up. But again, having so much fun with this. I hope you are as well. Have a great night. Cheers.